You just get hooked. It's like a drug. And once you're hooked on ballet, it's hard to get off it.
I think it's always on everyone's mind a little bit when you enter into this profession that you know it's not going to last forever.
There is the potential for the finishing of a dancer's career to be very traumatic.
Rowan Finnell leads a life of dance.
So I think as a child I was really drawn to sort of the physicality of movement. I used to dance around the house a lot as a child.
He's danced with the Australian Ballet for 12 years.
Your muscles and your body don't maintain themselves, so you need to work every day to keep yourself in condition.
But he knows that one day his time as a dancer will end.
It's been a very daunting sort of thing to come to terms with, and I think there's an inevitability to the end of your career that means that you can't avoid it.
You start this profession knowing that you're going to dance maybe to your mid-30s, or maybe if you're lucky to your late 30s, but then you're going to have another career.
4. The Australian Ballet recognised that it needed to support dancers moving into new careers.
We have a fund that was set up by the board of the Australian Ballet, and there's been fundraising over the years to make that fund available. And so after a period of time, you can access that fund to prepare yourself for the next career.
Rowan Finnell is now studying a communications degree funded by the company.
I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do into the future, so I think communications was a good foundation for me that it's very applicable to a lot of different industries.
There's like a certain amount of freedom that you feel when you step out onto stage, where you just become untouchable.
Vivian Wong spent 14 years dancing with the Australian Ballet. She grew more conscious of her body's limits.
I guess there was a particular sort of point that I started to question that, and think about it. And it usually came about with, unfortunately, being injured.
Vivian sought a grant from the company to learn a very different craft.
Working with timber is exciting and fascinating because wood, it has a mind of its own, and you're working with it. You're never really just making something out of it. It's very much a craft and a process when making something to be able to respect the material that you're working with at the same time. I quite sort of enjoy the visual attention to detail. I find that's something that's I can transfer across from being a dancer into this craft.
Turn out fondue, behind side front.
Some dancers choose to stay in dance, but in very different ways.
I really love ballet, and I love being in the studio, and I also wanted to give back to something that I've got so much from. Plie head.
After dancing with some of the most prestigious companies in Europe, Olivia Jenkins returned to Australia to set up her own school.
I had that option of retraining into something else, but I'm really pleased I didn't choose that because I do love being in the studio. Ballet is your life for so many years. It's all you can remember. It's like your identity. And so when you stop dancing, it's so hard for a lot of dancers because it's almost like you have to re-find who you are.
At times, it was challenging, moving from a performer to a spectator.
When you're teaching, it's really not much about you at all. It's just about everyone who you're teaching in the class. And so it's a total change in that sense.
These dancers all share common ground in their love of dance, with one eye to the future.
There is a big part of yourself that you do have to let go of.
At first it was a bit hard, it was challenging. There are a lot of different things which were hard to get used to, but now I really love it.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.